everyone, so I've recently realised that not many of you actually know that much about me. So I'm actually going to do a 7 facts video. Woo! Now, I tried to do one of these in March, but after I filmed it I realised that I looked really awkward and the talking was really stilted, so I'm refilming it and here it is for you all now. Hopefully it means you'll get to know a little bit more about me and you might be able to understand slightly more about my weirdness on Twitter. So here goes. Fact number 1. When I was at primary school, I had the privilege and honour to have 3 of my poems published through various writing competitions and entries that I could send in with my school. Luckily for me, one of these was a competition hosted by the Sheffield University and I came first. So my poem has been immortalised in a poetry book by Sheffield University, and I was told at the time that the university students actually got to study the book as part of their course. I'm not sure if this is true now, but it was back then. But since then I've never had anything published. Fact number 2. When I was in year 8, so around 13 or so, I'm not entirely sure which date it was, I broke my arm, my right elbow to be precise. I was with my sister Tasha and my friend Mary, and we've been riding our bikes up and down the estate, up and down hills all day. And they told me off being slow, so me being the cocky clever 13-year-old that I was, decided I wasn't going to brake on the next hill. But I forgot that the hill ends in a corner that you have to turn. There's no stopping, you have to turn, it doesn't go straight down. I remember this right at the bottom of the hill, where I decided to press my brake and turn my bike at the same time. Unfortunately for me, the gravel didn't really hold and I slipped off and broke my elbow. When I was at the doctor's the next day, they told me that my brake was more strange than they'd seen before because you could actually see the fracture through my bone. That's not really all that common and I never knew. Fact number 3. When I was at primary school, there was a TV show called Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'm sure most of you have heard of it, and if not, go and Google it, it's amazing. But they also had a magazine that went with the series called Sabrina's Secrets. And I used to get it. It was a weekly magazine. It used to have makeup tutorials, hair tutorials, articles written by the cast, a diary written by Sabrina, and like little mini stories that went along with the main episode but wasn't shown in the main episode. And one of the articles was about boys, as it's going to be, as it's aimed at young girls. And this is what my mum found last year and posted on Facebook. Yep, that is actually what I wrote at the age of about 7 or 8. Now, as you can see, apparently my ideal man is 5'4", with medium build, brown hair and eyes, and also they have to have a love of Pokemon, pizza, and sheep. What is wrong with me? But I think you'll find that the funniest part of the entire thing is that they have to dislike vegetables. Like, seriously, you would like vegetables out of my life. I just can't cope with that. And I can honestly say that that is truly my ideal man, even to this day. Fact number 4. Now, some of you are going to be confused by this, especially with what I tend to do in my spare time, but I really don't understand Tumblr. Like, seriously do not understand it. I don't know the social etiquette of using it. Yeah, sure, I read blog things that I find funny and I'll occasionally post my own things on there, but I just don't understand. Is it socially acceptable to write an actual blog on there, as it is a blogging website? And is it acceptable to just go stalking through people's posts and profiles? I don't know the rules, but I still use it. Just because I don't understand doesn't mean I don't use it, which is probably a really bad thing, and I'm going to end up in some sort of weird internet problem at some point in my life, but till then I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing and hope for the best. Fact number 5. Now, I don't tell a lot of people this because to me it sounds like I'm bragging slightly, much like with the poems, although with the poems it's more like, oh my god, you've had poetry published. With this, I feel, I don't know, like I'm kind of being a bitch. But I'll tell you a lot because it's interesting to know. When I first went to secondary school at the age of 11, we had to do these things called CAT exams or CAT exams. I don't know what the CAT stands for. I don't think I knew at the time. But it was meant to test you on your English and maths and reasoning skills to see which bands and streams you'd be put in for your English, maths and science throughout your years. I later found out that I was close to genius level with it. and was put in the top 5% of the nation for a gifted and talented programme where I got extra tutoring with certain skills. I learned how to memorise things, I learned how to read really fast, I learned how to have a wide peripheral vision and be able to see things from my extremities. I feel weird telling people this because it feels like I'm going, oh, I was in the top 5% of the nation, what were you? But to me, I don't like it. I don't like telling people. It just makes me feel like a bit of a dick, to be honest. Fact 6. I'm sure I'm not the only person who does this, as it seems to be one of those things that quite a lot of people do. But I think I take it to a level that most people don't. I make up conversations in my head with people that I need to talk to. So if I've got something important to say to my mum, I'll plan out a conversation with her. If I've got something to say to a friend, I'll plan out the conversation with them. But that's the normal thing. But for me, if the other person doesn't stick to the scripts that I've made in my head, I get slightly annoyed, which is irrational. How can they stick to a script that they've never seen nor heard? Hopefully I will stop being so annoyed with people for going off script and out of character when they're not. And finally, fact 7. Now this one is something that a lot of people might know if you've spoken to me for a while, but if not, it might surprise you. But I'm actually the oldest of 7. Technically the oldest of 7. But before you all start going crazy and thinking, oh my god, there's 7 people in our house, excluding parents, I'll explain it. My mum and dad split up when I was very little, so my mum and dad had me and my sister Tasha, who was a year younger. And then my dad got a new partner, and they had my sister Jenny, who is 16, my brother Martin, who is 15, and my sister Ashley, who is 10. My mum then got with a new partner and had my sister Taryn, who is also 10. But because my mum's new partner was in a previous relationship, he already had his own child, my stepsister Iona, who is now 13. And it's one of those things that when I tell people, they just look at me and go, 7? Wow, you must have a big house. But why would people think that in this day and age when there's so many like separated families and single parents and like rejoined families from people from different relationships bringing more children in? I think that's why I'm still so childish and still so much of a kid at heart, is because I've never really grown up. Anyway, I hope that these 7 facts have shown you a little bit more about who I am and you've all gotten to know me a little bit better. I'm not going to bother doing a tag for it, even though it was originally a tag thing, because for me, this is just for you guys who've not known me for that long to get to know me and to find out some more strange information about me. But if you want to find out more about my crazy wacky life, there's always my Twitter, which you can follow, or my Tumblr, even though I don't really know what I'm doing with it. And I shall see you all next time. Bye! I lived the tweenies until I was 16, for Christ's sakes.